What do you think the future for Etsy is now? Because like we mentioned, it's almost like what Shopify dropshipping was in 2016. How many years do you think we have left on Etsy before it becomes...
It's kind of impossible to tell, right? Purely because like, obviously I've heard things through the kind of grapevine, like maybe like Chinese kind of whispery things from people at Etsy. And it's very difficult to tell like the kind of position Etsy is in, right? Because Etsy is a very unique platform in that, well, it's a marketplace, but it's a very specialist marketplace, purely for like handmade or unique products, right? They don't stick to this, but like that's kind of what it's for. So it's grown massively over the past like 3 years, like 3-4 years, like ever since kind of COVID, right? Crazy big. So I kind of see it being very good this year. And then like I started a year and a half ago, right? Like it's January or February 2023, right? I started a year and a half ago almost. So I've seen it get a lot harder already. So in a year and a half, it's going to be a lot harder than it was now. It's going to get harder every single day as more people come onto the platform, as the platform gets stricter, as the platform kind of like matures, right? It's still very early. Like, well, the platform's been around for ages, but it's still very early doing it at like a high level, right? So I see it getting a lot harder. I see them expanding a lot to like kind of the smaller regions, right? So right now I think it's like 70% US. And then next second country is the UK, and then all the rest of them are kind of very similar. But I see them expanding massively in Europe because I think there's a massive market, and it would make complete and utter sense for them to expand to a kind of an unknown market because maybe kind of, I think a lot of people in the US know already what Etsy is. So I think it makes a lot of sense business-wise to expand to kind of European markets. So people that have already started to create stores in these kind of markets, even the UK as well. The UK is very big, but like, well, very big on Etsy, but I think they're going to expand to these kind of different markets as well.
Yeah, especially if you're experienced in Etsy, when they introduce it to a new region, you can just jump on that and be the first one in and capitalize the most.
Like there's some of the guys that I'm speaking to inside of the course and stuff, and they're like, I was speaking to a Spanish guy the other day, and he was like, oh bro, like Spain's small, like there's only like a couple, 3% market share on Etsy. I'm like, bro, like for one, that's like tens of millions a year, just there, like that's tens of millions a year revenue. And like the sellers to buyers ratio is better here than in the US, so there's less competition. And if Etsy decides to push the shit out of Spanish, like as Spain, like on Etsy, your store's gonna go fucking through the roof.
Yeah.
Like if they just like triple the budget, marketing budget for Spanish Etsy, like your store's just gonna triple overnight. Like it's just gonna go crazy, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost a better position. Well, it's not a better position necessarily, but it's a very good position to be in one of these different countries and do this. Like UK is very good for me.
Yeah, I think a lot of people underestimate Etsy in that regard because they think maybe what I'm selling is too niche and there's not a lot of people, I won't make a lot of money. Because Etsy's, made for selling like handmade goods, whatnot. So, mind association, like handmade, not many people are gonna buy it. But yeah, like you mentioned, there's plenty of money to be made, right?
Yeah, like it's not really a handmade marketplace anymore. Like it's mainly just like kind of unique items. Like a lot of people, no one really knows what Etsy is. Most people don't know. Yeah. Basically it's a marketplace, but it's made for kind of unique items. So think about it like as Pinterest, but you can actually purchase directly on platform.
It's like a merge of eBay and Pinterest, right?
That's kind of, basically, like it's super imagery based, super like product based, and it's not based around kind of usefulness and stuff like this. Whereas like Amazon, you don't really buy jewelry on Amazon. Who the fuck buys jewelry on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Like Etsy's the place you would buy like some little weird cat necklace, like some little weird fucking gay shit like this. Like that's where you go.